Good morning, welcome back to another week in my life vlog. I can already tell this is just gonna be a bear of a week. I think I kind of noticed it this morning, sitting down to do work after my first class got out, that I'm tired, and I'm like, I think like probably approaching a little bit of burnout, so that's fun. So going to kind of do whatever I can to not let that happen, because burnout's no fun, and it's only, you know, the fourth week of the semester, so not a great time to get burnt out. We still have a long time ahead of us. Fortunately, I do have a break next week. We have Monday and Tuesday off. The school, instead of giving us a week-long spring break, split our spring break into 2 sections. So this first section is I have Monday and Tuesday off next week, so I have a 4-day weekend, which is nice and exciting, and will hopefully be like a chance for me to, you know, actually properly relax, have a full day of just, you know, doing nothing, all of the above. And so hopefully will help with feelings of burnout. But for now, we're just trying to make it through this week. So, you know, trying to like keep things reasonable and not, like, I guess overexert myself, which is difficult because that's my natural tendency, is to like do everything 100% all the time. But sometimes we need to not, just for my own mental well-being. So this might be one of those like slightly stepped back weeks. Some more, I guess, good news is my school had like open bidding for interviews, and they're starting to come back with interview offers. And so I submitted 3, and so I've heard back from 1 already, and they offered me an interview, which is great. So that's 1, and so we'll see about the 2 of those, but it's good. It means that I guess I'm still like moving forward in processes with other organizations, so I'm not, you know, just like getting those like 2 interviews that I had last week and then being done with it, which I mentioned in my last video is a problem that I've had in the past, where I've literally like just put all my eggs in one basket, and I've had an interview and like just banked on getting it, and it's worked out for me in the past, but is maybe not like the best habit. So trying to do a little bit better about mixing it up and like continuing the job search until, you know, I have an offer in hand that I'm excited about. That's where we're at, trying to avoid getting burnt out, but also still trying to get a job in the process. Spring semester is a great time. I do think that the whole like job hunt is part of, I guess, why I'm like so stressed so early in the semester, and like already like feeling on the edges of burnout and like needing to like take a step back so that doesn't happen. Because in the fall, you know, you have one thing you're focused on, and that is class. Like that's the only thing that really matters. It's the only thing I was doing. Whereas spring, you have a lot more moving parts because you have all these interviews, you have all, you know, the other people in your class getting job offers, and watching that and being like, I don't have one yet. Am I just like a complete failure? Just fun. Love that for me. But so there's definitely like the combination of both classes and summer jobs all right at the beginning of the semester definitely makes it a lot more intense than the first semester was. And it's helpful that like in a way, like I'm used to the stress of like the classes, so that's fine, but definitely doesn't make it that much easier to like, you know, you got used to like that was like classes were everything and that's all that mattered, and now it's just like throwing an extra thing on there, so it's still definitely stressful and a lot. All right, a couple of hours have passed. I had my 2 classes and I have been doing reading. I'm literally just going to do what needs to get done as far as being prepared for class tomorrow, and that's it. And then I'm going to pivot and read my book, which is like my nice like de-stressing thing for the evening. Also went to a panel put on by one of the student orgs that I'm in, talking about getting a career in reproductive justice, which is a field that I'm like interested in. So that was fun. It is just genuinely so funny to see the contrasts between like what matters for different things that you want to do with a law degree. Because like half the panel, they were talking about how like grades aren't a big deal, And it's so funny because like if you're trying to go into like a law firm type situation, grades matter so much more. It's just, it's such a crazy like difference. And then like clerkships, which are working like under a judge for a year after you graduate, grades matter a lot there too. Like that's why I care so much about my grades, is because I want a good clerkship, because I would love to work under a judge. So it's just so funny how basically how different career paths within the legal field look at certain aspects of your application and certain aspects of your like overall person, and they matter at such varying amounts just depending on what you want to go into. It's just, it's a fun game. Especially when two different things you want to go into care about two totally different things. Like public interest law, like it's like grades don't matter, we want like substance and passion and all of that, and then like don't do law review or whatnot if you're not interested in pursuing that. And then judicial clerkships are like, you have to do law review if you want a good, like if you want a good clerkship, and you need good grades. And so it's just funny when you have two completely different expectations for you, even if you're trying to go after both of those things at the same time. So a lot of different expectations out there. Just here's a Greg moment. Do you wanna look at me? You're infinitely cuter than anything I can post of my face. Hi. Good morning. Okay, so today feels a little bit better. I am doing class from home this morning because there is a lot of snow outside, and yeah, at some point I will probably go out because I do want to go to the gym today, and I do not have a gym in my apartment building, which is a thing that when I move next year is like something that I want to make sure that I have. It's just like, it doesn't have to be like the world's best gym, but I think especially if St. Louis gets snow as frequently as it seems to get during the winter, I want to have a gym in my building. So definitely going to do that, but I'm going to try to get to the gym today. I think from the looks of things outside my window, it looks like the roads themselves are clear. It's just gonna be a really fun matter of getting out of the parking lot, which has not been like, you know, shoveled or anything. So that'll be fun. But for now I have my class, and then we'll go from there. I'm still waiting to hear back on the other two places that I submitted applications as to whether or not I got interviews there. So hopefully I will find out about that today. I think at the latest they have to let me know tomorrow. So at some point that information will come in. For now though, we just sit and wait. I've got my coffee in this cute little skull mug. It looks cuter in person than it does, I think, on camera. But I love it. If you haven't been able to tell from like a lot of my aesthetic, I kind of like skulls. I think they're cute. So they show up on a lot of things. So good news, I survived driving in the snow, not once, but twice. So I had another errand to run this evening, but then I just got back and I just made dinner, and this is not gonna look, actually no, you know what? I take it back. That looks pretty dang good on camera. This is one of my like default meals now, and it's curry basically. I know that didn't like look like curry, but it's like a vegetable curry, and it's zucchini and carrots and kale, and there's rice underneath and some tofu that I made in the air fryer, and then it's got like a red curry sauce over it. And I think I finally did the curry sauce part right. It hasn't been liquidy enough in the sense that it's like not enough to like properly cover the rice, and so I just had this really bland rice and all of the flavor was just on the vegetables. But I think I did better this time because I upped the amount of coconut milk that I used and the amount of curry paste as well. So I just like made more sauce for the amount of vegetables I was working with, and I think it worked. So I'm excited. Anyways, that's basically it. I knocked out my readings early today, so have nothing to do tonight other than edit a video that's gonna go up tomorrow, and that's it. once again, trying to keep the workload relatively light. Also, as an update, still have not heard back on those 2 interviews, so who knows? Also, I don't know if this is weird, but I put both of these things on top of my curry. This just adds like some fun spice. And then this is just, you know, I don't know. It just adds a little like creaminess to it as well. I don't know if this is weird because it's like other flavors on top of the curry, but I really like it, so I'm gonna keep doing it. Both of these are great additions. This has been a crazy but also not like chill day. I don't know how that makes sense, but it does in my head. So I spent the morning working through, I have like a whole packet of cases for my legal writing class for the memo brief that we're writing soon, and let it be known that 98% of the time I'm on top of things in school. Like I almost always like have my readings done for my doctrinal classes. I always actually do. I don't think I've ever, with the exception of like one time where I misread the syllabus and I read the wrong day's worth of readings, I've always like done the readings and I'm always in class. So this is my like 2% of the time where I'm not on top of things. We were supposed to have these read like last Friday, I think, and I just skated through class without having read them. So that's what we're doing today, has been working my way through all 67 pages of this packet of information so that when I go to actually draft the brief in probably a week or so, I, you know, actually know what to write about. So that's been the morning. I went to the gym and got my workout in. I've realized a perk of the snow is that there are even fewer people at the gym than normal. So like I had so much space to myself today, which was wonderful. It'd be very nice if my apartment had a gym, and that's one of the things that I want when I move, is both a gym in the building and I want a garage, because my poor car looks so gross, covered in so much snow and ice, and it's not gonna melt anytime soon. And I feel bad because that car is like new-ish, and I feel bad like just like letting it like sit out in the elements. I know obviously cars are meant to do that, but in my head I feel bad for it. So, and then afterwards had another meeting planning an event. So I'm basically alternating between like 2 different events that I'm planning for 2 different organizations. One of them is coming up in late February and the other one's coming up in late March. So different timelines, but I'm, you know, equally as involved in both. And so trying to make sure that I get all of the things done for that. It's not that much of a ask or a lift, like adding these like extracurricular like 1L boards onto my normal schedule really has not like dramatically increased my workload. It just has made me feel like more involved in the community. And so for that reason, like I like very much, I like highly recommend joining at least 1 or 2 extracurriculars and like going to meetings regularly and things like that. And then if you want to like step up and like plan an event, also do that. But it's just a good way to get involved in the community, and it's also a good way to like tie in like your law school education to whatever it is you want to do with your job. So like a lot of the organizations are like related to like specific issue areas. So like even if you're like interested in like immigration law and you can't take immigration law classes your first year, you can join like an immigration law society and have a chance to like experience that sort of stuff. And so that's exactly what I've done, is I've joined like a fairly political organization and then a repair rights organization, because those are 2 things that I'm very interested in. And so I'm applying my time towards. I will have a class after this and then just a lot more readings. I also need to go grocery shopping because I like to live on the edge and I wait until I'm like literally running out of food to go grocery shopping. And today is the day where I'm literally running out of food. I also need to purchase a scraper for my windshield because the Midwest, it's fun. I am a very southern girl, and I didn't realize that that was a thing that you needed to have to like get snow and ice off of your windshield. Yeah, we're doing great in the snow. I've driven in it though. Like this is a big step for me. I know like pretty much anyone who like doesn't live in like the deep south is probably watching this and being like, you don't get, like, you've done nothing impressive. And I agree with you, I really haven't. But it's big for someone who comes from a place where if it starts snowing, everyone pulls off to the side of the road and doesn't want to drive anywhere, even if they're in the middle of the highway. So today just kind of feels like a big hump that I need to get over, because essentially this is like the end of my week. I have class tomorrow, so it's not really, but it's my like big classes, and I'm just like so ready for this break, and so I'm just counting down until I'm like truly done. So I had my in-person class again this morning. It's still snowy and cold and a little gross, so not a lot of people went in person, which, like, very fair, but yeah, got that over with. That class is huge, and I have not been cold called in it yet, so I love just like perpetually living in fear. It's always nice, like, I feel like I had classes last semester where I got cold called like very beginning. This actually happened this semester in my Civ Pro class. I've already been cold called for a relatively extended period of time, and so like you know that for a while you're safe, whereas when you haven't been, you're just waiting on it because it's coming eventually. Like different professors have different ways of like scheduling out who gets called on, but you just wait. You just sit and wait for it to be you and hope that it's on a day that you prepared well. So anyways, that class, I know it's coming, but it's just, there's so many people that's just, who knows when it's gonna be. I'm at the gym now, going to get a workout in. I'm obviously not, I'm gonna switch this for I have like my sports bra on underneath, and I'm gonna switch for a different jacket so I don't have to wear the sweater in. I made the mistake the other day of just being like, okay, I just have to walk from my car to the gym. I can just wear my like long sleeve shirt, not put a jacket on. No, that is wrong. It is cold here. I'm still getting accustomed to actual winter. But yeah, you can't walk around in a crop top in actual winter. Good things to know. So we're back in the car. This time I'm done with class, so I'm officially free for, I keep saying that like I don't have class tomorrow, but there's a big difference between like the amount of, I guess, like brain power and effort required for the like main doctrinal classes and then like my like legal research and legal writing classes, which are much more, you know, practical skills based, and less like big thinking, big concepts type stuff. So in my mind, I'm done. And on that note, I am driving to Starbucks now because I am going to treat myself as my like, yay, I'm done. Which is maybe a questionable idea because this whole thing was filled with cold brew before my 1 p.m. class started, and I drank it all, and now I'm going to get more cold brew. But yeah, nope, this is just what I want. I want more coffee, so it's exactly what I'm gonna get. I also just love this for me. There have been a couple of times where just like intuitively I've like gone into a class with this gut feeling of like, I'm gonna be the person the professor cold calls on for the entire class. And every time that I've had that like premonition, I've been correct.
Like, it's not like it happens like a full half hour in advance so I can like go, you know, heavily review the cases. But it just happens as soon as I log on to Zoom and I'm like, today's the day, it's gonna happen. And then it does. So, I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know what in my brain is just like, yep, it's happening today. But I've been right, and I'm kind of proud of that fact. So I was the cold call of choice for almost all of my constitutional law class today. So I survived, and I didn't say anything stupid. So that's always the point of cold calls, is just to make it through. And I actually think this one was like a pretty good one. There's some cold calls I have that are kind of and then there are ones that I have that I'm like, no, okay, this was actually good. Like I think I sounded smart, and like I know what I'm talking about, and we always like those. I don't say I have bad cold calls, because I really think the only thing I would categorize as a bad cold call is like if for some reason I literally just like hadn't done the reading and knew nothing. So I don't think, yeah, I think that's my classification for cold calls. Is really the only bad one is when you just completely bomb it. And I really don't think I've seen anyone like have something that bad, except I think they're actually, no, I take that back. I've definitely had people in my classes be like straight up like I didn't do the reading, which is not a fun one. I wouldn't recommend that. I would just do the reading so that you don't get stuck in that position. But that's just my take. Others may feel differently. I'm in like pitch black now because my lighting, I guess, is all behind me. That's my face, thank you. But yeah, so between surviving class and then spending that entire last doctrinal class before break on call, I definitely deserve a coffee.
Hey, thanks for choosing us. We're gonna get started for you.
Hi, can I get a venti Irish cream cold brew?
Okay, a venti Irish cream cold brew. Will that be all for you?
Yep, that'll do it.
Okay, your total price is $12.
All right, thank you. Goods have been acquired. And yes, I'm drinking cold brew, knowing full well that it's like 15 degrees outside. This is the life I've chosen for myself. It is Friday evening. That was a long time jump. It's just been like a day that I've been like, you know, doing the bare minimum to get through. I woke up early this morning and I like went for a drive, just because I like doing that sometimes. I've done a video where I like actually like recorded footage of that, but it just wasn't, it was cloudy this morning, so it wasn't like super pretty. So, but it was still nice to like get out and do that, and then like go by Starbucks on my way home and get a giant coffee. And then had class, had another session with a judge, a Q&A session, and then my class had a separate one that was also with a group of judges. So there was just a lot of dealing with like important judicial people today, which is why like I have the full face of makeup on and why I'm wearing like bright red lipstick even though I'm about to go into the gym. But I finished all of that, and then I'm not even kidding, just like passed out on the couch and took like an hour and a half nap, which is like when you know, because I don't take naps during the day. Like I've just never been the type of person to do that. And so when I'm like dead on my feet at like 2 p.m. and like actually fall asleep and stay asleep for any amount of time, it's a thing. So I definitely think this is like, this whole weekend off is like very, very much needed, and I will very much enjoy having a little bit of space from school stuff. I think I never mentioned this again after waiting to hear back, but the school finally got back to me / employers on the other 2 interviews, and I got one of them and I didn't get the other. It's really funny. I kind of applied for a law firm as like a kind of a panic moment of like, oh God, what if I don't get one of the ones that I want? Maybe worst case scenario, I could interview for a law firm and just see what happens. And that's the one that didn't offer me an interview. So I really think that one was just the universe being like, Taylor, no, like you never wanted to do that this summer. So some things just work out, and I think that's one of them. So regardless, I have 2 interviews now next Wednesday. So brings me up to a grand total. I think I will have interviewed 4 times. So we're making some progress on this on this job hunt. But with that, I am going to head into the gym. I'm not going to do anything super crazy today. I've done strength training throughout the week. And today I'm literally just going to go in and I'm just going to incline walk for 30 minutes. Just something to get me moving, but nothing too intense. And I'm probably going to read a book while I do it. So that's the plan. And I have no specific plans for tonight other than, you know, actually relaxing and like letting myself like fully step away from all of the law school work related things and like have some self-care time. So that's it, and that's the end of this vlog. So I will leave you here. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you leave a comment down below, make sure you subscribe so that you don't miss any of my videos. I post vlogs every Saturday and then other like informational type videos every Wednesday. So if you don't want to miss them, hit subscribe. Also hit the bell icon so you get notified when they show up, because that's fun. And I will see you soon for another new video. Bye.